A very good morning to all, and thank you for joining us for this event. I, Amanpreet Kaur, take this opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratan International Business School, on this virtual platform for celebration of Constitution Day. Geeta Ratan International Business School, GIBS, was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. Center for Legal Studies, GIBS, conducts law courses of BBLLB and DLLB, approved by Bar Council of India, and management courses by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, and Government of India. The institute is accredited as Category A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council and assessed as Category A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and GGSIP University. The institute has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of GGSIP University. The institute has been rated grade A. GIBS has also been rated number 2 twice by Times B School Survey 2019 and 20. Today is a very auspicious day. Today we all are here to celebrate the proud day for India, that is the Constitution Day of India. This day teaches us about the power of unity among Indians and how it can strengthen our nation. It reminds us of the feeling of nationalism and patriotism towards our nation. Constitution Day is celebrated in India on 26 November every year to commemorate the adoption of Constitution of India. Constitution Day is also known as Samvidhan Divas. The Constitution of India is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. It also aims to create awareness of fundamental duties as enshrined in the Constitution. Constitution Day of India aims to bring awareness to the importance of Indian Constitution and its architect, Mr. B.R. Ambedkar. In order to grace the event, we are honored to have with us Sri Harjeet Singh Jaspal for his virtual presence. He is Learned Secretary at Delhi Legal Services Authority, North. We welcome you, sir. To begin with, we have a small video clip for you all in order to have a glimpse of the journey of our Constitution.
हमारे संविधान की ऊंचाई दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा लोकतंत्र। संविधान एक जश्न होना चाहिए, संविधान एक उत्सव होना चाहिए, संविधान की हर भावना के प्रति हमारा आदर सत्कार पीढ़ियों तक चलते रहना चाहिए। ये संस्कार विरासत है, ये हम लोगों का दायित्व होता है। ये सिर्फ तू मैं करने से देश नहीं चलता है, देश कभी साथ साथ मिलकर के भी चलने से चलता है। संविधान एक भावना है जो हमें जोड़ने की ताकत देती है। ये समाज पुरुष का कोई एक अंग अगर निर्बल है तो फिर ये समाज सशक्त नहीं माना जा सकता, ये राष्ट्र सशक्त नहीं माना जा सकता। और इसलिए राष्ट्र का सशक्तिकरण उसमें है कि समाज के सभी अंग सशक्त हो, पुरुष हो, स्त्री हो, इस जाति के उस जाति के हो, इस पंथ के हो उस पंथ के हो, ये भाषा वाले हो उस भाषा वाले हो, इस भूभाग रहते हो इस भाग पर रहते हो। हमारे लिए आवश्यक होता है कि सबके सशक्तिकरण के लिए हम क्या काम करें और उस काम को हमको पूरा करें। 1787 में फिलाडेल्फिया में जिस पॉलिटिकल वेंचर की उत्पत्ति हुई थी, संभवतः उसके बाद अगर कोई महान पॉलिटिकल वेंचर हुआ है तो भारत का संविधान है। ये बात उस समय की
Now, I would like to hand over the session to Sri Harjeet Singh Jaspal to illuminate the students with his words of wisdom. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I hope I'm audible, am I?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
My most sincere and humble apologies to everybody. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this app properly. This is the first time I'm using it. Not very handy with technology as well. So in case I fumble, in case you see that there is some obstruction with the voice or with the picture, please let me know. All right, and it is a matter of great pride to me to be addressing all you young legal minds today. I can see there are 158 people who are present here live. It's such an honor to be addressing young legal minds, and that too from my own university. I'm so glad to share with you all. I'm also a pass out of IP University main campus. Uh, I passed out from the college in the year 2009. That is, it sounds like 2000 years ago, but then believe me, in my head, I still feel I'm young. And I still believe only yesterday I was in the college, and I still feel that you and I might have a lot of things to talk about. Though I'm sure in your head you are thinking how such an old person, 2009 में हम शायद you were in class 3 maybe 5 maybe something of that sort. Anyhow, coming to the session for today, we're going to be talking about constitution. So, and it is 26th of November. It is the law day, the constitution day. I sincerely believe that it is a two-way interaction. Ma'am, can we also talk, as in the students can also talk? Is that the case?
Sir, no, that is a one-way platform.
It is a one-way platform. Okay. So, okay, in 26th November, I would first of all congratulate all of you and convey my best wishes to all of us on the law day. On this day, we got our constitution. It is such a beautiful document. We've been surviving. We've been living very, very peacefully. We have been surviving every form of government, every ups and downs in the administration, only because of this beautiful document called the Constitution of India. Of course, you are students of law. You are future lawyers. I would not bore you with those tiny details. I would not bore you with these tiny details of the Constitutional Assembly or the drafting committee. I mean, this is something that you have all read with your law school entrance exams also in your first years as well. And it is basic GK. So let's pump it up a level higher and talk about the constitutionalism. Now, I would have been very happy if somebody would have told me what do you understand by constitutional morality or constitutionalism. However, since it's a one-way thing, I'll keep it to myself. Ma'am, the option of chat is available. Can people type it and maybe I can read it? Is that an option?
So that we can do.
So my young friends, my most sincere request to you, in case you would like to say something, I'll be, it is going to be a happy session for all of us if it's interactive. You and I can talk. Probably ma'am can have some interjections and we can learn, all of us can learn together. Right. So anybody who can help me out, what is the concept of constitutionalism and what is constitutional morality? Anybody who would like to pitch in? Anybody has anything to say on that? I guess no. Okay, we got something on that. Okay. So Vasudha tells me it is natural justice. Okay, Vasudha, very true, very fair. And Shubham Agarwal says it's basis on which the constitution is based. Okay. Constitutionalism means, that's Ayush Dhami says constitutionalism means basic ideology or the core principle behind making of the constitution. Shubham Agarwal says it's positive morality. Okay, fair. All of you are correct. Okay, absolutely good. Now, let me start this discussion by referring to Article 21 of the Constitution, something which is very, very important, something on which pretty much everything in our Constitution is based. Almost all rights in the Constitution draw one or the other form of validation or authority or correctness from their relation with Article 21. Article 21 tells me that all of you, all of us, all of everybody in India, be it a citizen or non-citizen, has a right to life and personal liberty, and this right and personal liberty can be restricted. What is the word there? By the procedure established by law, or does it say by the due process of law? Anybody would like to answer that question? Procedure established by law or due process of law? Okay. Article 21 says it is the procedure established by law that we are concerned with. So, to take an example about yes, Shubham Agrawal is right. It is the procedure established by law. So, to talk about an example here, can my life be taken? No. Can somebody restrict my personal liberty? No. However, if I have committed a wrong, I have committed an offense, somebody might give me a punishment to death. In that case, my life will be taken. And of course, I can be restricted on my personal liberty as well, in the sense that I can be put behind the bars. A court can issue a warrant of my arrest, and I can be detained also, depending upon the facts and circumstances. The point remains, the procedure has to be given, and only in this, according to this procedure, that there can be some limitation to my life or my personal liberty. Now, if you understand the difference between procedure established by law and due process of law, then I might draw your attention to the American Constitution. American Constitution is a beautiful document. It has just seven articles in it. And in these 7 articles, pretty much everything that is there in our Constitution also is written in those 7 articles only. And there they use the word, the due process of law. Now, what is the difference between procedure established by law and due process of law? It is in this difference, the answer of what is constitutionalism and constitutional morality. It is in this difference the answer lies there. Ma'am, please correct me if I go wrong somewhere. It has been some number of years since I read the Constitution. I am a judicial officer. I have been mostly posted on the criminal side. So, you ask me CRPC and IPC, I'm more confident. You ask me Constitution, I try to recollect answers from my college days. So, if I fumble somewhere, ma'am, please take over. Am I audible, right? Kushagra?
Yes, yes, sir.
Sarthak Arora, am I audible?
Everyone can hear you, sir. You are clearly audible.
Yeah, I need this continuous assurance, because since I cannot see faces, I'm like a man.
For that, I'm moderating everything. You are audible.
Perfect, ma'am. So, because since I cannot see faces and nobody's talking to me, so I'm like a madman speaking to a mirror right now. Please bear with me on that. Yeah. So I was pointing out that the distinction or the explanation of constitutional morality or the constitutionalism lies, I can put it with an example, in this distinction of due process of law and procedure established by law. So talking about the American Constitution, it says that in the same connotations of Article 21, the usage, the phraseology used there is the due process of law. So what is the difference between due process of law and procedure established by law? The answer is given by the Honorable Supreme Court in Menaka Gandhi versus Union of India. Now, anybody who can tell me that Menaka Gandhi is basically based upon a dissent given by Honorable Justice Dash in a prior judgment concerning the state of Tamil Nadu. Anybody who can answer that question? What case am I talking about? Where for the first time this distinction was talked about. Let me give you the theory first. Let me give you the facts first, and then you will be able to recall. So let's take an example here. The Article 21 tells me that there has to be a procedure. Okay. Now tomorrow, let's suppose the Parliament passes the law which says that all males who are above 18 years of age cannot leave the house after 8 p.m. Now, because there are too many incidents of rape and sexual assault against women, so the law or a particular state, let's call it the state of X. The state of X passes a law which says that all men have to be inside at 8 p.m. In case you are found loitering around on the streets after 8 p.m., you will be arrested. Now, this is the law. At 8:15, I was going to get medicines for my daughter and I was arrested. The law now says at 8:15, you are loitering around, and of course, it is a procedure established by law. comes a question keeping in mind Article 14, keeping in mind Article 21, keeping in mind Article 19, and so on and so forth. How justified is this? Has somebody restricted my liberty? Yes, of course. Has somebody restricted my liberty based upon the law, which is the law prevalent in the land? Of course, yes. So can that be called a law, or can that be called just law, or can that be called just a law? Appreciate the word play here. A just law, just a law. Can you understand the difference? Probably put it on a piece of paper and you will get it in the first strike itself. A just law and just a law. Can you understand the difference? I'm sure, yes, all of you are you're intelligent law students, and you understand the difference. And I also understand you are feeling a little lazy to type on your cell phones or your laptops. So I'll speak out the difference. Just law means a law that's justified. Just law means that's something which is justified. That's absolutely correct. Miss Sumita Sahu says that. Just the law, just the law. A lot of people are writing. Okay. Now, something which I'm sure everybody has understood. When we talk about just law, that means a law which is justified, something which is correct and proper, and something which satisfies the golden triangle of 14, 19, 21. 14 talks about equality. So you are saying all men above 18. So what about women? I mean, women are being allowed to go out, but men are not allowed to go out. So are you not making a distinction here on the basis of sex? Article 14 tells me that there has to be equality. There can be no distinction. Article 19, on the other hand, gives me a fundamental freedom of movement. I can move around. This is something which is given to me as a fundamental freedom. And of course, 21, which talks about that there has to be correctness of the procedure as well. Now, if you put it in this triangle of 14, 19, 21, then you would say that this might not be the proper law. This may not be a just law, something which is justified, something which is there to give justice to an individual. Now, this very thing was talked about in Maneka Gandhi, and try to appreciate what I'm trying to tell you here. Now, the debate before the Honorable Supreme Court was that Indian Constitution uses the word procedure established by law, and it does not use the word the due process of law. So the Supreme Court took reference to the constitutional debates, the debates of the drafting committee. Now, one of the points that was talked about there in those debates was that the system of the Indian Parliament is such that it is a very, very heterogeneous system. There are people from various states. There are people from various ethnicities, from religion, from different languages, and from different cultural backgrounds. And thus, every law that will be passed by the Indian Parliament or even in the Vidhan Sabha will be always a good law. It will always be a just law. Now comes a question, what exactly is meant by just law? What is meant by good law? Of course, even if the Parliament tomorrow says that people who score less marks in college will be imposed higher income tax. Now, that's a very fictional example and a stupid example, but I hope it explains my point. Now, Parliament, if tomorrow passes a law to that effect, can that be called a good law? Of course not. It is a bad law. My marks cannot be a criteria to decide how much income tax I pay. Of course, that cannot be a logical explanation to that effect. So moving on, the debates of the parliamentary, the drafting committee debates, they insisted upon the fact that since we have got a good parliamentary system, a good heterogeneous system where different ideas will pitch in, so there is no possibility of a bad law coming into picture. Now, this is how the Supreme Court of India interpreted this word procedure established by law. So the question once again, the issue once again is, since we did not deliberately use the word the due process of law, though it was talked about in the drafting committee, it was discussed there that should we use the same expression that is used in the American Constitution as the due process of law? Should we use the same phraseology, or should we stick to the procedure established by law? Well, the Honorable Supreme Court said, and listen to this, that even though we are not using the word due process of law, we mean actually the due process of law. So you can call it rather an anomaly, or you can call it an attempt by the Supreme Court to put something in the Constitution of India which is not exactly there. But then, of course, we all understand it is the job of the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution, and it is the job of the Supreme Court to protect the Constitution. Of course, the Supreme Court, the apex court, is the protector of the Constitution. So now, the understanding is that despite the phraseology used, which is the procedure established by law, the correct or let's say the implied meaning is the due process of law. When I'm adding the word due before the word process of law, I'm saying that this process has to be due. Here means what? It has to be a justified process. And I'm so glad somebody used this word natural justice in the beginning of when I asked. So I've forgotten who was that female who used this word. Vasudha Arora has used this. So Vasudha is absolutely correct. Natural justice is one of the parameters to decide whether a particular law is a just law or not. What is natural justice? Of course, you have read it sufficiently. I'm sure being law students, you are pretty much aware of this. I cannot get into that detail. So, and then the Indian definition of the constitutional morality. How do we decide constitutional morality? Is this golden triangle of 14, 19, 21. I've been insisting upon it repeatedly. So whether any particular law is a just law or not, we have to check it on the golden scales of 14, 19, 21. And this is exactly where the constitutionalism comes into picture. What is constitutionalism? Constitutionalism is not sticking to what is there in the Constitution. Please understand, Constitution and constitutionalism are different. When I say Constitution, I'm referring to a document. It can be a written, or as in case of UK, it is unwritten as well. So when I say Constitution, I'm referring to a document or maybe a bunch of set rules. When I refer to constitutionalism, I'm referring to a generic practice or a general practice of adhering to what is correct and adhering to the general norms and principles of the country. It may not be something which is specifically quoted in the Constitution particularly. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware of the wide interpretations given by the Honorable Supreme Court to Article 21, that from something so very simple to right to roads. For example, Umedram versus State of Himachal Pradesh, if I remember it well, Umedram versus State of Himachal Pradesh says that roads are almost akin to lifelines in hilly areas. So Article 21 would also include right to have a good road. To something more complex to, for example, right to euthanasia. I don't have to tell you this entire sequence from P. Ratinam to what is that case? I forgot. Gurnam Kaur. I'm forgetting the name of the case. It is some Gurpreet Kaur, Gurnam Kaur, something of that. So 1996 Supreme Court judgment. P. Ratinam is 1994. And then, of course, the very latest, something which has defined the entire concept of euthanasia, active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Anybody who can talk about what case I'm talking about? Very, very famous. Anybody? Aruna Schonborg is the correct answer. Kavya Buddhiraja, thank you very much. Gyan Kaur versus State, Avya Arora, thank you very much. Gyan Kaur is what I'm talking about, 1996 Supreme Court. And in between P. Ratinam and Gyan Kaur, there is Maruti Satpathy Dubal versus State of Maharashtra, which is again kind of defining the law on that. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to talk about is that all these wide interpretations of the Constitution are possible, or we have been able to expand the horizon of the Constitution only and only because of adhering to the concept of due process of law and adhering to the concept of constitutional morality and constitutionalism. However, when you talk about constitutional law, I would say constitutional law is something which is there written in those around 400 articles which are there in the Constitution. I hope to I sincerely hope and believe that I was able to put across the point of constitutionalism to you and you've understood something. Yes, Shubham Agrawal has explained it so beautifully. He says if the legislature, he wants to say, is trying to make the law, then it should be in line with the basic spirit of the Constitution. Absolutely good. And taking clue from what Shubham says, I would now jump upon the concept of basic structure. It is the the entire concept of basic structure is exactly based upon the concept of constitutionalism. Now, if you ever have courage to read Keshwananda Bharati, then I would suggest that why would I use the word courage? Because Keshwananda Bharati is huge. So my suggestion to you would be the latter part of the Keshwananda Bharati, something which the Supreme Court is telling, is covered in almost all textbooks. But the initial part of Keshwananda Bharati, something which Honorable Nani Palkiwala was talking about, was arguing about, is covered in the initial part. So अगर कभी लगे टाइम और हिम्मत लगे कि इतना लंबा कुछ पढ़ना है, तो इनिशियल पार्ट पढ़ने में बहुत मजा आएगा. It is a fun read. Now, Nani Palkiwala there repeatedly talks about, he bases this entire basic structure theory on the concept of constitutional morality, constitutionalism only. And he says, and I quote, that what is correct for our country can never be put in exact words. What is correct for our country has to be altered after every number of years, have to be altered after every change in circumstances. And this is exactly what we see when we talk about Shankari Prasad from Shankari Prasad to Golaknath, and then to Keshwananda Bharati, and eventually to Minerva Mills. Once again, I sincerely believe that this concept of constitutionalism and constitutional morality is clear to us. Of course, cannot be summed up in a small session of around 30 minutes or so. I'll encourage you to please, in case you have a comment to make or a question to put, please ask me there. And of course, before I leave, I have a few more things to talk about. I'm going to bore you a bit more. Please bear with me. This is the good part about this session. I cannot see people making faces at me. So even if you're terribly bored, I'm just in my head, I'm assuming that you are enjoying and it's a brilliant session. You're back at your individual bedrooms, you are clapping for me. Just a fool's paradise. Okay, so no questions, no comments. Once again, I get assured it's a fool's paradise. Okay, so I'll introduce myself once again. I'm Harjeet Singh, and I'm Secretary to DLSA North District. What exactly is DLSA? And what does DLSA has to do with Constitution? And why did I talk about the constitutionalism? And why am I going to talk about the DLSA now is relevant here. See, when the Constitution was framed, it is a jargon of very complex words in English also, and it is more difficult to understand Constitution in Hindi as well. Now, to a common man, when you talk about concepts like samprabhuta, which is sovereignty, or any complex definition which is there in any of the articles of the Constitution, then it might not make much sense. However, it is the spirit and the endeavor of the Constitution that it must not be a textbook for rich and powerful. It has to be something which must reach out to the lowest of the society, as we put it, to the poorest of the poor and the weakest of the weak. It is the vision of the Constitution that everybody enjoys access to justice, be it rich or poor, or be it male or female, or even a transgender person, or be it anybody from any strata of life, or any age, or any wealth, or any other distinction whatsoever. Now, this is exactly where DLSA comes into picture. DLSA stands for District Legal Services Authority. My parent authority is the State Legal Services Authority, and my super parent authority, as in the authority at national level, is the National Legal Services Authority. It is the aim and the objective of DLSA to ensure that access of justice is available to every single person, once again, irrespective of money or irrespective of any caste or creed or the placing in the demographic hierarchy. Now, DLSA is able to do things only and only because of people like you. If you ask a person standing on the road, most of them might say that I don't know what is DLSA. I would not even understand. A person would say, okay, हाँ मुझे पता है अगर मेरे साथ कुछ गलत काम होता है तो मुझे कोर्ट जाना है, मुझे कचहरी में जाना है. But कचहरी में जाके, कोर्ट में जाके, आपके पास एक legal right है that you are entitled for a free legal aid lawyer if you are not rich. If you are a female, you are entitled to that lawyer free of cost. If you are a victim of any sexual assault, you are entitled to that lawyer. If you are a victim of any natural disaster, industrial disaster, or if you are a laborer who has been terminated from the service without any good cause, you are entitled to that free legal aid. Most people would not know. It is Your job as future lawyers, as young legal professionals, to please make sure that people around you are aware of that. DLSA, in order to promote your association with us, runs summer internship, winter internship programs, and of course, there are tons and tons of other programs where you can get associated with us. Right? Your college has our contact numbers. Our office is there in the Rohini Court, and there is one DLSA office in every court complex all across Delhi. In fact, all across India, every court complex has a DLSA office. So my request with folded hands to all of you is, one, there are tons and tons of years for you to make money. Eventually, you will be doing that. As of now, you should focus slightly more on the social service, try to contribute to the society. And one of the contribution as a young lawyer can be about spreading this information on legal awareness and legal rights. So do tell a person, make him confident about the fact that coming to the court doesn't always mean dates. Coming to the court always does not mean delays. Court is also an instrument to get justice. I understand there are delays at times. I understand there are too many dates at times, but that is basically attributable to the fact that we have got too much of a population. There are tons and tons of cases in the court. However, now in the modern times, situation is getting better. Just a week ago, we got around 250 more judges. So things are supposed to improve, of course. And even otherwise, it is my responsibility as a good citizen of this country to believe strongly in the constitutional vision and the constitution of this country, and to encourage everybody to believe in that constitutional vision. On that note, I'm going to stop speaking, and I'm going to encourage once again all of you to, in case you have something to say or ask a question, please ask. Okay. None so far, I believe. Nevertheless, I'm sure you have, we are on the same page on what we talked about, and as my college professor would say, people would have no questions if you have spoken too well or you have spoken too badly. I would assume it is the latter case. In that case, I'm going to apologize once again. Probably in near future, I'd like to come to your college and then talk to you face to face. We probably might have a better interaction. As of now, I'm going to say thanks to all of you for your very, very patient listening. Thank you very much, Shubham Dixit. Samar Kumar has a question. How can we become paralegal volunteers under DLSA? Your college can write us a mail to us, and in that mail, anybody and everybody who's interested to become a paralegal volunteer, the list can be attached. And we'll hold a refresher course for you. We'll hold a small training session for maybe a couple of days, and bam, you are a paralegal volunteer. We'll issue you an iCard as well. And in future, we'll be able to contact you, put you in a lot of interactive sessions as well. We can put you on in the community programs as well, whenever we are organizing Lok Adalat also. All right, in all these situations, you can contact us. Once again, anybody, if you don't want to do it through the college, you can always come to the DLSA office, and I'm very happy to meet you and share a cup of tea with you, and also be very happy to induct you with the PLP program as well. Avya Arora says it was a former case. Avya, I'm so glad, I'm so thankful. Tamalpreet, I'm thankful. Vasudha Arora, I'm thankful. And I'm also thankful to others who are here in this session. Soumya has a question. Please, if you could throw some light on Keshwananda Bharti, and Keshwananda Bharti 1 and 2 with regard to the second bench that was set up. Lengthy discussion, Soumya. I might not be able to give justice to the answer. I'll refrain from answering that question. If I have to put it properly, I'll have to spend too much of time here, which I don't think time is allowed. So maybe in the session we'll start from Keshwananda Bharti itself. How can we join DLSA in the pandemic time, where is it safe to travel? Kunal Kumar, there are tons of programs that are happening online as well. and there are a lot of community awareness programs which are happening through online sessions. Take for example, we are able to connect to a lot of RWAs, the resident welfare associations, on their right of the property and right of domestic violence and so on and so forth. I'm sure you must have noticed that during the pandemic times where people were staying too much in the house, not only it brought some families together, it also caused a lot of internal tension and a lot of commotion within the families as well. There was approximately 400% increase in the cases of the domestic violence. So where people cannot come to the court, we try to provide counseling to them in the houses as well. So a lot of PLPs have joined us for these online sessions, for all these online programs, and I'm very happy to share with you that we run a helpline session as a helpline number as well. It's called 1516 helpline. So what is this 1516 helpline? We encourage people in schools and colleges everywhere around us that in case you have a doubt on to the questions of law, or you don't understand what is supposed to be done, or you go to a police station, the police does not answer your queries, then you call a 1516 and it's like a free legal advice to you. It's like a counseling session given to you without getting onto the details of your identity. We will not ask you where you're calling from or why have you called or anything such of that sort. We'll just try to help you out. So our student volunteers are also helping in the 1516 helplines. Right. Karthik
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting us.
Karthik has a comment to make. I'll quickly answer to that as well. Karthik, please understand there is no problem.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So I would not say that there is system problem in the system. When you go to your fourth year or fifth year, maybe there is a subject called comparative laws. Comparative laws. I happened to read comparative laws in my fifth year, and I got to know a few things about the German legal system, the Russian legal system, the Spanish and the Italian legal system. And over the years, I have come to an understanding that Indian legal system is flawless when it comes to the written law. The problem lies with two things. One, we are too populated and we are a bit corrupt. So the corruption lies in the society, not in the system. You know, you and I are society. System is what is there on the textbook. A book can never be wrong. People can be wrong. So you and I might have a problem, but system, I would say no problems there. So this is where I've exceeded my time limit as well. I was given half an hour. I have exceeded that. My apologies once again. And so thank you very much. You can follow us on DLSA North Facebook page. You can drop messages there. I'll try to answer your questions as well. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to give my phone numbers also. I don't know about that. But again, I'm available in the offices. The good part about me being in DLSA as of now is that I can talk to as many number of people as are possible. Once you go back, I'm a judicial officer, so once I go back to the court, then it's difficult to meet people. Though I really like meeting young people, it gets difficult. But DLSA posting is all about public dealing. So please be my guest. I assure you a warm cup of tea every time you come, and some good samosa as well, or whatever you want. I'm just being okay. So that's where I stop. Kushagra, more on corruption when it's sit over for a cup of tea. Thank you, ma'am. I'll take your leave.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening our students. And it was obviously a former fact. It was not a later one. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with all of you. Thank you.
An oath is a way to make us aware of our duties towards our nation. So let us all take pledge To adhere to our Constitution, all of you are requested to repeat my words from the preamble of India. We, the people of India,
We, people of India,
having solemnly resolved to constitute
we
India
resolve the Constitution India
into a sovereign,
into a sovereign,
socialist,
socialist,
secular,
secular,
democratic republic,
democratic republic,
and to secure to all the citizens
and to secure to all the citizens
justice,
justice,
social, economic, and political,
social, economic, political,
liberty of thought, expression, belief,
liberty of thought, expression, belief,
faith and worship,
faith and worship,
equality of status and opportunity,
equality of status and opportunity,
and to promote among them all
and to promote among them all
fraternity, assuring the dignity
fraternity, assuring the dignity
of the individual
of the individual
and the unity and integrity of the nation.
and the unity and integrity of the nation.
In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do
In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949,
hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Now, I would like to request Dr. Kalpana Devi to extend vote of thanks to Sir.
टर्न तो हो जाए. एक मिनट. Good afternoon to all. At the outset, on behalf of Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratna International Business School, I would like to extend heartiest thanks to our honorable guest, Mr. Harjeet Singh Jaspal, Learned Secretary of DLSA, for his presence in the program of celebration of Constitution Day of India. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your inspiring and motivating words. You are an exemplary person, and we have a lot to learn from you. I would also like to thank faculty members and students for their presence in this auspicious occasion. As we know that 26th November was marked as the Constitution Day of India by the Union government in the year 2015 as commemoration of the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The Constitution Day of India aims to bring awareness on the importance of Indian Constitution and its architect, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who taught us that democracy is not merely a form of government, it is primarily a mode of associated living of conjoint communicated experience. It is essentially an attitude of respect and reverence toward fellow countrymen. Last but not least, we all felt proud that we are Indians Firstly and lastly, thank you very much.
Now, let us all rise for national anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता
पंजाब सिंह गुजरात मराठा
द्राविड उत्कल बंगा
विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा
उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नाम जाने तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा
जनगणमंगलदायक जय हे
भारत भाग्य विधाता
जय हे जय हे जय हे जय जय
Thank you all for joining us for the event. A recorded version of this event will be available at our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the event and gracing the event.